Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Just the Tips. Okay. A few people on YouTube had said...
I already know where this is fucking going.
They had said they like it when I say the number of the episode.
So what episode is it?
What episode are we? I should probably know that going in.
You came in all hot with that.
Yeah, and what if you record the episode and then somebody great comes in and you want to bump it? You already said the name. You put that on the thumbnail. I wouldn't verbally say that.
This is an argument.
It should be evergreen, right? Those couple people at YouTube need to get a hobby.
See...
I like it though. I like every week. I'm like, what episode are we on? And Aaron's like, who cares? And then, last week a fan was like, Joanna, just so you know, I care about the number episode because I like to listen to them in order. And I was like, thank you.
I saw that comment.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You know what episode we're on?
Yeah.
The Lisa Ann
we are on
episode. Yeah. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. It's so good to see you both. You know I love you both so much.
It is so good for you to be here.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Interviewing Lisa. I'm scared.
You're scared? Why?
Scared.
What's there to be scared?
We've sat in a hotel room drinking water together in sweats.
Yeah.
We've
drank things other than water together too. But but here we are on this nice rainy day in New York City. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got it. You've been traveling all over the place. I was just in Tulum, actually.
How was
I took a last-minute trip to Tulum with Alexis Fox, who just out of nowhere called me on a Friday and was like, I have plans to go to Tulum on Monday. The girl I was supposed to go with, couldn't go at the last minute. Do you want to come? And at first I was like, oh no, I have stuff to do. And then I was like, oh wait, I'll just go. I'll do it. So I did. I went.
That's something you do. Your stuff can wait. It's Tulum. It's not like, hey, do you want to go to the mall?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's somewhere great. And sometimes when I'm asked something and I think if I don't do it, well, I'd be laying on my deathbed regretting that I didn't do this.
Exactly. I've never been to Tulum. And I realized everything I needed to do, all I needed was Wi-Fi, really.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
Yeah.
I did not
Which they do have. Yeah, Aaron didn't go.
I had some DJ gigs here in the city.
Aaron was DJing.
But I watched her Instagram stories.
You felt like you were there. Okay.
It was really fun.
What's your favorite island destination?
Yeah, you travel all the time.
Because you go everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you really go everywhere. I see you went to Greece recently.
Exotic.
Yes.
Exotic. Ooh,
I went to Greece.
I do love Greece.
I feel
Greece.
like...
there was this wild romance in my life for about 6 months. And this guy had me meet him in Florida. He chartered a boat. We had 2 people, the captain and a chef and us. And we went past the Bahamas down to this little private island that was a sandbar with 2 people that lived there, a couple of facilities, a pool, random.
So
and it was
not a big resort kind of thing.
And it was just being able to have all the fresh food that we had. And it was just so simple. But we were just out in the water for days upon end. I would say that was the most exotic.
Wait.
Wow. It's so exotic. It's like an unnamed island. Yeah, it's like Lisa Ann's private island.
Right, yeah. Somewhere off the coast of Florida.
Okay.
Somewhere off below the Bahamas somewhere. I like the adventure of just going to new places.
Yeah.
Soaking in the culture, the food, how people move, walk, conduct themselves, speak.
Yeah.
Everywhere is so different.
And I think even though it's so different, island culture shares a lot of similar aspects no matter where you go, where it's generally, because it's coastal, the food is insanely good and fresh. I've found that most of the people, usually regardless of culture, are kind of have a chill mentality.
They're laid back.
We're on the island. What's there to worry about? To be all up angry about? I really like Mexico. Not Tulum, but we've been to Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, Cabo.
Tulum's not that far from Cancun.
But
we'll go to Tulum.
I have been to the Greek islands, and
Santorini is so beautiful.
It's
so beautiful.
It's a thing you should do.
Yeah,
if you get the
for sure. I agree.
So Joanna, you've been to Tulum. I've never been, and I've been to Greece, and you've never.
I loved it.
Ibiza is also a trip everyone has to take at least once in their life.
That.
Okay, did you do a lot of drugs?
We made a movie there.
Yeah,
we were out there.
I'm sure you've worked with him. That was because it was on my porno bucket list, because there I was like almost 35 being like, I'm probably going to retire soon. I should start hitting everything on my porn bucket list. I did that at 29. I did that at 34. Yeah. I did it at 39. And now I'm just not going to, I'm going to do it at 89, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I remember I was like 34 and I was like, there's things I want to do in porn. And I should probably do them now, because will I really be able to do porn after age 35? So crazy to think about that. But one of those things was I really wanted to work with Nacho Vidal. And he...
That was a crazy week.
He had been excommunicated from the country.
Oh, this was around the time of the situation that he's currently in the situation.
Well, now he's in another situation.
Okay, there was another one.
There was another situation. At that time, yeah, he couldn't be in the U.S. anymore. I think it was just visa.
Okay.
Whatever it was. He couldn't be in the U.S. I asked a few times, when are you coming back? He's like, I've never.
I get that. I get.
Yeah. And I was like, well, then we got to go to Spain to make it happen. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really know much about filming there. And he said... He knew a guy with a boat, and I was like, I would love to shoot on the boat. And he's like, yeah, he could take us to this private island, and we could do the scene on a private island.
Not the same as your private island.
Yeah.
There was no chef.
This is, I guess, the theme of this is private islands. Yeah. And I was like, okay, picturing me and Nacho like on a nice bed of white sand where it's all fluffy and pretty. He took us on a boat, and the boat guy just stopped, and he was like, here you go. Like, nobody spoke any English, and I was like, Where's the island? The island was like a rock.
Like a sandbar almost?
No, it was
no sand.
a rock.
It was literally just...
It was a rock. Like a bunch
5
of rocks. It was like a bunch of rocks.
And
I was like,
I wanted to do a scene there. Right? How bad would that have hurt him?
Well, I wasn't gonna say. I flew across the world to do this. I was like... okay. Also, mind you, Nacho had recently finished. He was on Spain's Survivor. So he was very good at climbing on rocks and stuff like that. Not me.
You guys also had to swim like a half a mile because the boat couldn't get too close to the rocks.
The boat couldn't get that close. So he just kind of parked.
Were you there?
I was. So he was on the boat. Okay. I was like, I'll do my scene.
Because there was another girl. Yeah,
the girl I was working with.
They already did their scene.
We were just chilling, like eating sandwiches, and we're like, "All right, you guys go have fun on the rock."
Swim off the rock.
Yeah, he did a scene with another girl.
They put the camera in an igloo cooler and had to swim and float it.
And the camera guy swam with the igloo cooler towards the rock. I swam towards the rock. Nacho was like very fast at swimming because he's really quick. And we had we had anal sex on a rock. It was the only time, not to give too without
your butthole fell out.
After the scene. Well, there was nowhere for me to like, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't like, do my usual things before the scene. I had nowhere to touch up my makeup there was nothing. We were literally on a rock in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So what ocean is outside of it?
He's also probably a little aggressive to do an anal with.
It was a very aggressive scene. It was awesome. I'm glad I did it. But anyway, I remember after the scene.
It gets better.
Yeah. I know. We'll talk about
Meanwhile,
after the scene, and Nacho, after the scene, he kind of like swam back, and I was like, I just need a minute. And I was like, whew. Okay. And then I asked the camera guy, I was like, hey, my butt kind of hurts. I know I just had really aggressive like anal sex, but like it hurts like more than it. I feel like it should. And I was like, is something wrong? And then he was, and he's like, there's something really wrong. I'm sorry, Lisa.
Your insides fell out.
It was the only time ever in my life that I prolapsed. I guess
that's what it's called.
It fell like my butt. He's like, it's like out, and he was like, I'm sorry. And the camera guy, we didn't even know each other that well. He was just a camera guy I hired in Spain that I was. He
probably didn't even shoot porn full time for a living.
I was like,
I shoot real estate. Okay.
Yeah, I know. And
you wished he would have been.
Yeah. Did you go to the hospital there?
No, I just said, can you push it back in?
Because that's all you really have to do, right?
Yeah. And he was like, and I was like, just do it, please. And he
shoved your insides back up inside of you.
And then he was like, get in the water. I think
because you had to swim
he
back
said,
to
I
the
think,
boat.
well, he said, I think the salt will help. And I was like, will it? And he's like, I really don't know. And I was like, okay. And then
Meanwhile, I'm like, eating fruit and like hanging out.
Yeah, and Aaron was like, but from Aaron's point of view, he just sees me spreading my butthole and the camera
It was
guy
so
looking.
far. I'm like, oh, they're having fun.
Yeah, he's like,
probably getting a close-up shot.
And Aaron's like, what happened over there? I was like, don't worry about it. We're all good now. Everything's good. So that was the
Private Islands.
I guess this is about private islands.
Islands.
But anyway, I don't even remember why it was. Oh, you said Ibiza, and that's what I thought of.
And
was
here we go.
There we go. Anyway, that's what I remember about Ibiza. But it is a lovely place. But anyway, have you have been in porn for, I always say I've been in porn since the 1600s. It's rare that I'm ever around someone, and definitely rare that I'm on the show with someone who's been in porn for longer than me. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I started my pursuit in 1992.
Wow!
And
you're on VHS tapes, right? You have VHS tapes.
My whole first series of contracts was all VHS tapes.
So cool.
That is so cool.
That is so
we
cool.
shot on film.
Legendary.
We had craft services. It was a totally different scenario. But
big costumes.
The crazier part is, at the time I was working at Al's Diamond Cabaret as a house girl dancing, and I was interviewing all the porn stars that would allow me to like sit on the chair in their dressing room, that couch. Christy Canyon was always really sweet, but I'm 18 at this point. So this is 1990. So I start my pursuit. Wow. They give me addresses to write to these companies. That was the only option. Think about it. We're not emailing. And then I had to hire photographers in Reading, Pennsylvania, have all of the, developed, and it was a whole filmed, and then mail them with the photos, and they would write me back.
at Al's Diamond Cabaret, so picturing Al's too, like you doing all this, and I know Reading, Pennsylvania pretty well, as well as you can. From dancing at the
takes like 3 seconds to go through the whole city. It's got 2 good sandwich shops and a pizza place.
The only thing they have to brag about in that town is that it's from Monopoly. And I actually didn't know till I went there that it was Reading and not Reading.
Oh, also, it's where Corningware is made. So when you're a kid, you go on a school field trip to the Corningware place. Those glass dishes. Oh, Corning Company. That's where they blow the glass.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like a dishware.
Like cooking stuff.
Oh, okay. It's from there.
So you're 19. Are you doing all this, the filming, the mailing, that's so much work.
Right. But
so you got headshot, like professional headshots.
Not just headshots.
Like JCPenney
I still have them. Modeling photos where they would have like the blow up bottles of liquor that you could stand by and pose, like the photos in Spencer's gift. Like, you hired a weird
Budweiser can.
You had to pay to get them developed, to look at them. There was no digital. Like
these were like bikini photos.
I did bikini photos. I did some nude photos. I did some like business casual photos. Like they would tell you like bring 6 looks and you'd shoot all these, white backdrop. And this went on for 2 years.
Oh my God. So it was a real audition to get in the porn industry.
I wasn't just going to fly out nilly-willy. And
because there was no one you could even talk to really on the phone. Wow.
Well, that was the thing. They would call, and you would have either a calling card or pay long distance. But so you would mail them the stuff, and then they would call. And they would call and tell you, like, you have to get your boobs done. All right, send us new photos when your boobs get.
So
you have to get your nose fixed. Yes.
Well, who were you sending the photos into?
Everyone from Hustler to.
Oh, so you were sending it to the companies?
Yes,
not
to the companies. No, not to the. I didn't meet Jim South till I got out there, and there was this really beautiful woman.
Jim
Lena.
South, for those of you who don't know, was like the first porno agent. He passed away a few years ago. Right? I was like, please don't. I don't want to be wrong about that.
He did. Bless his heart.
Like, no, he didn't. Yes.
He was a great man, fun to be around.
The first porno agent.
And
ever.
She introduced me to this guy that kind of was like a small agent where he would take a select group of girls every year and help them get a contract. Now, I was too young to realize he was probably getting a commission, but it really didn't matter. His name was Peter Davey. Super nice guy, lived in Tarzana. And we had arranged that I was going to fly out there and he was going to pick me up at the airport. I was going to stay with him.
Man, and this is back in the day when you had to like
trust
getting a flight. Like you had to get a physical ticket.
Yes.
You couldn't just text someone, I'm here. Like airport pickups.
I bought a one-way.
Like flying to meet someone you didn't know was insane. Like,
insane. There was no way to back. Wow. I bought a one-way ticket because my goal was each time I would leave LA, it would become a round trip ticket because I really wanted to live there.
Gotcha.
But I just, I danced for so many years, and then going to Al's and seeing the features, I just knew that was a more lucrative place to be a long-term dancer. Okay. As being a house girl, you get tapped out. You know everybody, they know you.
Right.
The club gets dull. It's too much. You're visiting these different places, you're traveling. And so the real appeal was being one of them and getting out on the road and feature dancing. And so like I emulated them so much. Oh, it was so crazy that by the time I got out to LA, I felt like these people were my pen pals. So weird.
That's adorable.
Like we've been writing each other.
You've been writing them so long. It's like
there were no text messages.
Right.
No.
Like
Wow.
Like Larry Flynn's wife and I wrote back and forth so many times. And by the time I got to meet, no, it was Liz.
Oh, Liz.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she was his assistant at the time.
Oh.
Liz was his assistant in the 90s.
Althea was the second?
His first wife
Okay.
passed away. And Liz was after.
Yes.
And when I went in, I remembered like nothing going into her office and being so excited to finally meet her because we corresponded for 2 years.
Did you guys feel like you already knew each other?
Oh, completely.
Right.
And she's like, do you want to go up to Larry's office? And I was like, I was dying. I was like, I'm going to walk into Larry Flynn's office right now. Like, this is the most exciting thing. I'm in like
Business
some
casual?
No. At the time, my first 6 months in California, I was still very Pennsylvania and I wore cowboy boots with everything.
That's hot though.
It is now. It wasn't then.
Okay.
I'm sure it was. When was
On
that?
you though,
Okay.
I'm sure it was.
When
still.
I cannot ever picture a time when cowboy boots weren't hot. They're always hot. I can't imagine. First of all, I can't imagine.
What else did you have
People
on
did
besides
stare at me.
Yeah.
Like a cute skirt and a
Okay.
cute little matching top. It was
there's
always
no way that
matching,
wasn't
hot, but
matching.
not like Southern California?
No,
Yeah, gotcha.
you know,
hot
still
like I
somewhat-
just came in from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And I just remember that just being so magical. I mean, walking up and seeing all the Tiffany lamps and just meeting him.
I've
and
been up to
getting to know him.
It's funny because I have one of my first trips to LA. I did get to go to Larry's office, so I'm glad.
It was awesome.
I am
wasn't
glad
it?
I got to kind of know him.
Yeah.
I've
But yeah, I do. I
never been
remember-
asked.
Oh, wow.
I
So
was never
sorry.
invited.
Yeah. And yeah, it is. It's like it looked like
Epic. The whole
all
view.
gold.
Yeah,
everything was gold.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know if it changed.
And their house was the same way. He had hundreds of Tiffany lamps there too.
Yeah.
They would have me for dinner. And when I was up in the valley, and I just remembered, and I lived in Huntington Beach my first 15 years in the business. But back to getting in, it was much fucking harder. So I think being that it was much harder, it made me look at it as a long-term plan, and it made me just commit.
Right.
I think this is the type of business, it's kind of like bartending or being a waitress, where you can always be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You can always come back. You can always jockey around. But when you're younger, that's not good. When you're younger, you need to be like, I'm going to do this till I'm 30 or 35.
Make some
Or
shit
I'm going to do this till
happen,
I'm 40 or 45. This is my plan. I'm going to save money. I'm going to see the world. Like you got to fully lean in. And I think that's what made you and I stick. Was that we were always fully leaned in. Like we were into it. We enjoyed it. We made the most of every event that we did. It was never a drag to us. It was never something somebody was forcing us to do that we didn't want to do.
No, absolutely not.
I also feel like you two are like, and I mean this in a positive way, like you guys are lifers. Like you're not, even if you're, you know, as we get older and lives change and we start to do other things, and you might not be as like active on camera, you're part of this shit, you know. And
Oh my God,
it's
like the fact that I have every Thursday night at Sapphire 39 for the whole football season to watch the game, and it's a huge screen and it's right on the stage. So there's like a beautiful, beautiful dancer, you know, playing with the pole and doing her thing while you're still getting the full view of the game. And I'm like, this is so merging my two lives together and making me feel at home on every level.
we have to come hang out with you.
I know. I meant to go last night,
'Cause-
and then I didn't wind up going, but we have to go.
I'll remind you before the season ends.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
like, last year, basketball season, she reached out. Is it too late to go to a basketball game? I'm like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. How long does it last? And I said, and who's playing? What? Give me, who are the names of teams?
So, big shocker, me and Joanna are not big sports people. So maybe you can teach us. Like, I don't really know much about football. Or basketball.
But I love watching football or basketball with somebody else who knows a lot about it.
So I would like to hang out at the strip club with you and just glean some of your sports knowledge.
I would love to do that. I will tell you some weird idiosyncrasies about people. I'll give you some backstory on the coaches and like who's got beef with who and who posts weird shit on social media, who's a troll, that kind of, I'm in.
Okay. I want to know all the gossip. Yeah, I want to know all the gossip, and I just want to know all the stats. You know,
all
I wanna
right.
know
By this
everything.
time next year, we will be
gonna be
sports people.
I
like
think
what
it's
sport?
unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think it's truly unnecessary. I say,
Or we just go to the
enjoy
strip
it
club
when
and
you
have a
want
good-
to enjoy it and don't commit.
I always
Fair.
say sports is like reality TV.
Wait,
That's what I say. It is because it's like you're watching something. You know, it's like reality TV to me. It's really the
what
same
way?
thing.
in what?
I mean, I'll tell
is.
you what, football
It's
Sunday
unscripted.
does not compare to when I decide to binge watch a new season of 90 Day Fiance.
It's not the same.
Such good
And
trash.
reality TV is more scripted than sports. I feel
I
like.
know,
right?
I know, but it's just like it's.
You can watch it kind of
It's-
casually,
You can.
and you can pop in, pop out.
Yep.
It's cool, or you can be hardcore enthusiast and
It's true.
watch every
but yeah.
minute.
Well, it's supposed to be unscripted. You know, you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yep.
And neither do the people in there. You know, you're watching it as it
yeah.
happens. You know what I mean?
It's unfolding
It
in
makes
front of
sense in my.
We're in
my
your
brain.
head with you.
Yeah, you
And
get
makes
it.
We're all
Okay,
in there.
perfect
We're
sense.
all
to
in
you
there.
know, like while you're watching the Kardashians, like on
I
season
can't do it. I
one,
can't do
she
it.
doesn't
I can't
know
do it.
that like by the end of the season she's going to get cheated on, and her baby daddy is there's I don't know, and just like in the
Can't
beginning of the
feed the
game, the
machine.
players don't know what's going to happen at the end of the game. The beginning of a regular sitcom, they all know what's going to happen. Okay,
Got it. Got it.
I made my.
Let's go back to the fact that, yes, we are both lifers.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
both lifers.
So
However, in the recent past few years, you have pivoted your public persona into like a sports expert.
That's fucking smart.
Yeah.
I would say a
sports
sports lifestyle
commentator?
broadcaster. You would say I don't call play-by-play for games, but yeah,
Right.
you get it.
I'm sorry, did I use the wrong term?
No,
I
you're
really-
perfect.
I
You're
don't
perfect.
know
But yes,
what-
I've pivoted because sports is really something that I've naturally loved my whole
Yeah.
life, and it made it super easy. And I work with great people, and it's something like the fact that I can tell people, I'm sorry, I can't do shit on Sunday because I'm working all day. And working is really laying on my couch on a couple edibles, watching games all day, tweeting, seeing what's happening with injuries. It's the time of my life.
I know you were always
That's
really
pure
passionate
heaven.
about it.
Yeah,
And
it's pure
I
heaven.
remember early on being at some dinner and you got into a conversation with a bunch of other people about sports. And I was like, she really knows a lot about sports. That's just, you were like holding your own and it was all men in the conversation and you were like out sportsing them. And all I really heard was like sports,
Wonk,
but,
wonk, wonk.
but like you were like, I was like, she knows what she's
I like
talking
that term,
about.
out sportsing.
You were out sportsing.
I was definitely
all of
out
them.
sportsing them.
Yeah, but I remember seeing that like very early on. It was like some dinner we were all at, and anyway, I'm very happy for you that you've managed to pivot because I know that's not an easy thing to do.
It's not easy,
Mm-hmm.
but I will say, people on the outside are way more open-minded than I think some of us on the inside thought for a long time. And so it made it much easier for me than I thought it would be, that everybody was so welcoming and everyone just treated me like a part of their workspace.
so
like
great.
it was so great that
beautiful.
nobody was weird. Nobody's ever had to like question about the business. Nothing. We don't talk about we talk about what our topic
You're there
is.
on your own merits.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
for sports, for what
And
we're here to do.
And
Yeah.
it's made me want to work even harder because I hear them talk about me on their shows about how hard I work and how dedicated I am. And I want to keep that up because that's how I've proved myself. And they've helped me just rebrand my whole mindset and the way other people view me.
And I think it's cool because it's somewhat similar to Joanna, your job with Liquid Death, where you're there because you're good at your role at
Marketing.
slinging water, marketing and lifestyle.
See, I'm doing it right
And
now.
the fact that
I'm
you're
marketing.
you, Joanna Angel, is like a cool bonus. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, of course, Lisa Ann checks all the boxes for this job just because she does. And then it's Lisa Ann. So just like extra gold star. Like,
I agree. Like,
know?
imagine if this wasn't Liquid Death and it was another company and the can was like regular, or it was a bottle and it was like pink with like glitter and butterflies. I mean, this aligns with you guys
It does.
so much.
it makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
it makes sense. I mean, we were buying it.
It's born to be
We
in
were
your
buying
hands.
it as fans before we worked for the company, and I'm not lying. When I
But
say
you're
that,
a great
so.
networker as well. That's
you.
one of the things you've always been. You're always introducing different people to different people.
I like doing that.
You,
I
you
like
find joy
connecting
in that.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why this is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
And it's
So,
just cool that for both of y'all, your talents and your skills are why you have the job. And then the fact that you're you is like just a cool, like extra cherry on top.
What about the fans? Were they, when they saw that you started to pivot, how?
I would say in general, I'll say the positives, all the positives
most
first.
People who like sports like porn.
Right.
So-
And a lot of the like 90s, like the VHS, like that fan base, the 90s, those people have been able to keep in touch with me in a new way. And maybe they're not even actively really into porn anymore, or like their lives are different. They have like kids, they're married, they play fantasy football. They're like, dude, I can't believe I get to talk to you in a different way. So we've carried our relationship, like it's evolved. I do though still get at least one a day. One a post. It's just like, you know, I liked you better when you had dick in your ass. How can I take advice from somebody who used to take dick? And before this year, before my New Year's resolution not to troll trolls, I always would write back, I'm so sorry that no one will let you put your dick in their ass, because that's really where this is stemming from. It's not a me thing, it's a you thing, because it's to be celebrated.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But I just don't want to waste time with that stuff anymore.
Right.
So,
You're giving them too much.
Too much. I'd rather spend on something. But
somebody will always have something to say.
a large majority of people were like, this is so cool. And more now than ever, the younger generation that like the 20s that really grew up with the internet and they started watching super young. So we have kind of a long-term thing. They'll write to me on Twitter like, I think it's so cool that you're doing something else. Like, this is just great. Good for you. Like, they're just like kind of blown, but cool.
I know it is crazy, and you understand it. A lot of these fans that I have, or when I see them at Exotica or I talk to them on OnlyFans, I'm like, these are people I've now known for 20 years.
Yes.
Like some of these fans I've been seeing like every year, whether it's at a convention or talking to them on, it's like they have been in my life in some capacity for 20 years, you know? And especially since you were around when, like, it used to be the only way you could see your fans was at a convention.
And I had a fan club by mail.
Yeah, I remember you actually going
cool.
early on in my career. I used to go to all these like porn like marketing panels, and I remember like one at Expas you were speaking on, and you were talking about the days when you like had a fan club, and I remember hearing about it.
Did you have Lisa
I did
Ann
not at
fan
that
club?
time. But I was the first of my friends to have a computer. I learned how to use Print Shop. The newsletter
Shop,
had
man.
like my dance schedule, what I was selling that month, whether it was 8x10s, whatever. And I would just like sit on the floor with like all of this mail and go through it piece by money orders.
Wow.
You'd have like 100 money orders you'd do
Wait,
it.
so you that's how you took orders for autographs?
They had
and
to
stuff.
send you a check or a money order.
You're such a hustler.
God.
But that was how you made money.
mean,
What was I going to do?
no.
I wasn't going to just leave that money on the table.
No, absolutely not.
So you were used to having a lot of
Work.
a lot of different hustles back in the day. Okay, because now it's pretty common for a girl to get in the industry in her first year or two. Like she'll work every day. Like what? But there's like a lot of companies now, and like, you know, the internet companies, they have like 20 different directors. Like how often did a girl work, like a top girl when they
Once
first
a
got
month.
in the Wow.
Once a month, but it was like a full feature, and they would do it over like 5 days.
Okay.
And only 2 would be sex. There'd be like a girl and a boy at the most.
That
maybe
is
like a
so
solo
crazy.
something.
So
the other
like-
days would be dialogue.
Right.
They were normal sized days. You were out by 5. It was usually really super fun too. We'd go and rent these ranches and all stay at a hotel for like a week. Like just really cool. Everybody bonded. Always somebody brought a guitar. Like it was, everybody got high. I just loved it. But one time a month, and you were taught then to really diversify. So the goal was to have bookstore signings, feature dance bookings at events every month.
Okay, so everyone in porn was a star.
Yeah.
You know, so because there weren't that many people
There was about
in porn.
20 to 40 of us at one
that's
time.
so
That's it.
crazy.
All the feature bookings were like kind of on rotate. Clubs had them once a month. They're like, okay, there's
so
12 features. You come in January, you come back next January. You know what I mean? It was that
Right.
easy.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I feel like I came in like after that.
The internet
Well, yeah.
changed everything.
Yeah, the internet changed everything.
So pre-internet, it was a different deal. Also,
Yeah.
remember, we only tested once every 3 months when I got in the business.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Well, I do
and
remember.
it was paper. So they guys who did
For
for a
those
while.
of you who don't know, we test every 2 weeks. In the
That's the
industry
current
now. Yeah, that's the
standard
current
now.
standard. And some actually companies have gone to every week.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to someone at Talent Testing, the testing place that we all use, and she was one of the women that worked at AIM. You know, so she had been around. AIM was the first testing place.
Yep.
Anyway, and she said when she first started, there were 40 people in the whole database. And now there's over 10,000 people in the database. So
That's crazy.
and now there's multiple testing centers. So just because you're not in the talent testing database, you might be in the cutting, there was only one. So really that meant there were 40 people in porn. And now there's like, and that doesn't even count webcam models and couples that are only having sex with each other. So they're not getting tested and like, blah, 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 but that is how much porn has
And before AIM,
grown.
you had to go down to Venice Beach to this really sketchy doctor where you really always thought you were going to get something when you went in there. And they would print it out for you and put a gold seal on it. Gold seal would always pop off right away.
Like a sticker.
Yeah, and pop off right away. And everybody was duplicating
So
the
you
test.
were around before.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is
I'm old.
porn. I'm old, Lisa.
I think that was the greatest time to be in the business.
You think so?
It was kind of the
think
golden
the
era,
90s
right?
Honestly, I think now is the greatest time to be in the business. I don't know. I mean, I think it is cool. Now the business is everything. I don't know. The business is not centralized in one place.
But we worked less and made more money. That's why I think it was better.
I understand.
And they had
I
great food
understand.
for us on set.
Yeah,
There'd be like
I
a
get it.
hair person, a makeup person, a wardrobe person.
I
There were
suppose
so many people.
For me right now, I guess I'm very much enjoying
I like,
myself now.
I like this 90s shit you're talking about.
It is. It sounds really cool.
I'm a little different than Joanna. I'm glad I got into porn early enough where I got to do a couple big features. I like big production. I like feeling like I'm making a movie.
Part of something big.
Like I'm a rock star.
Yeah, yeah.
And setting up my phone to fucking jack off in my shower is not the same
No,
as,
it is not.
Going on set with a 30-person crew.
Yes.
So I kind of that I don't even shoot often for studios anymore, but when I do, it's for Brazzers or something.
Right.
On the larger scale. But even those days aren't as big as like I did a couple Wicked movies when I first got in, and they were like big movies and 8-day shoots, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. So I kind of do miss that.
There's something about that, but also it was just
It feels like a summer camp.
Yeah, it was a more intimate. It was a more intimate industry, and the women really ran everything. So it was your choice. Everything was your choice. You would ask somebody, "Do I ever have to do that?" And everybody would say, "You never have to do anything you don't want to do." Like it would also they would slow roll. So if you were a contract girl, you couldn't do more than a boy girl and a girl for like your first year.
Where they wanted to.
Then you do like a boy girl. I mean, I didn't do anal till I was 35.
Joanna, you did your first scene anal.
Yeah, I did my first scene.
But you loved it. It wasn't in my personal life.
No,
yet.
no,
So
I
for
get it.
me, I never made a choice on set and did something I didn't do in my personal life.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Sexually.
I mean, I did it like twice before, but I wanted to learn. I wanted to have more anal. It was different. The time I was getting in,
Well, that was that was just a very different thing.
It was a different thing. Yeah, it was a different thing. I was kind of coming in the beginning of that Gonzo era where I was like, I don't know. Also, like before I came in, I wasn't really sure. Like, you have to have like a hero or who you were like looking up to. And I remember at the time, I did really look up to Jenna Jameson, but I knew I was not going to be anything like her at all.
Really? You guys look exactly
we
the
look
same.
the same.
You look the
I was
same.
like, we don't, or that's like, and then I remember Belladonna was sort of like
That's
the hero.
exactly who I was thinking.
Yeah, and I remember watching her movies and stuff. I was like, okay, that is who I'm going to.
Yeah. That's the path.
That's going to be my godmother, whether she knows it or not, or likes it or not. And I was like, and she's always doing anal.
Always. With all kinds of instruments as well.
Yeah, and I was like, and she actually I watched one of her movies. I was like, and then I told my boyfriend at the time I wanted to try anal, so he was very thankful for Belladonna. And I was like, all right, I liked it. I'm going to do this.
Did you have like an older era icon that when you got in the business were like, oh, that's kind of the path I want, or that's like, look at what she's got or how she does her thing?
I think it was kind of the top 12 girls at that time that I would see monthly at Al's. Then Al expanded it and would have features every week. So it was like the same girls, like a Christy Canyon or a Diana Loren
Christy.
or Blondage, Julia and Janine.
Love Julia.
Or Portia Lynn, if you remember her. She was a very tall redhead, very sexy. Savannah. So they were just they were making stupid money.
Oh, I know. I remember
Stupid money. And so I was like,
You're like, that's where we gotta go.
that also I didn't love. So when I started dancing, we were getting paid $25 an hour. And there were very few girls that wanted to dance. Then eventually more girls came around. I remember our manager seeing it. We didn't have...
So you didn't make tips?
And tips.
Okay, and
Both.
tips. Okay.
Got paid $25 cash just to be there.
Okay.
Just show up.
Did you have to pay house fee or not?
No, I'll get to that. Okay. So I remember the manager... in dress rooms back then were like a room like this with no furniture. We just put towels on the floor and sat, and everybody had a caboodles.
No,
and it was disgusting. But
caboodles, that's dated. That's
Wait, what's caboodle?
Caboodles was this plastic case that opens
Everybody
up,
had-
and
dude, they
there
were
was
the
a mirror,
best.
so like everything you needed was
you
kind
could
of
do
right
your
there.
It was
makeup.
like a little makeup case. Yeah.
Did you ever carry it through the airport and the snap thing open and everything fell out?
You know, when I had caboodles, I was
they're
not.
cute.
It was
Oh, you were too
before.
young.
I was too young to
Oh,
be
sorry, you're
traveling.
right.
I didn't really carry it anywhere
it.
important. I
carried
don't
it through the
remember where I
airport and
carried
would
it.
break open once in a while and everything would fly over.
Yeah, they were-
So, and I remember him saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. If you want to work here and get paid, you're going to have to take 1 tip shift a week.
Okay.
And I was like, this is the fucking beginning to the end, ladies. These fuckers are going to out hustle us our own fucking hustle. We're not going to be getting fucking paid no $25 an hour. Within 6 months, it went to nobody's getting paid. And then following 6 months, it went
You
to a
had to
house
pay
fee.
to work there.
And I was like, the fuckery of all of this. Luckily, in that period of time,
when you became a feature
I took a
dancer.
break. Yeah, I took a break from, I wouldn't work in these clubs without getting paid. So I did a spot on the Howard Stern show. Howard Stern used to have girls come in and do like the Snapple girl, the P-Touch labeler, the 1-800 mattress. And then I took that shit and I went back to the clubs and I'm like, I will work here. You will pay me. You will put me on the marquee from the Howard Stern show. I will never fucking work for you for free and I will never pay you to work here.
Fuck
Badass,
yes.
Never take no shit.
At 19.
Yeah. I have a question. I tell other people, are you the first MILF? Like, did that term get invented for you? Because I remember,
It's interesting.
I remember you. So you left the business for a few years and you made a comeback, right? Because I remember I was around when you were making your comeback. Was sort of around when I started,
2005.
and I remember everybody saying, "Oh, Lisa Ann, she's coming back. She's coming back." And then I remember. I don't know. I remember somebody being like, and she looks amazing. Like she's older, but like hot. Like no one was older and hot. No one had.
I was working at Derek's office.
Yeah.
That's how people were seeing me. I came back as an agent.
Oh, you
Not in
did?
the business.
Really?
I worked
Okay.
for Derek for a year. Yeah, I wasn't shooting at all.
hadn't known.
Didn't even, nobody was shooting girls in their 30s at that time, or early
it was like people were like, and she's like hot, but she's older. Like no one
There was no
could wrap
phrase
their
yet.
brain around that or something. And then I remember you did your comeback. I don't remember who your comeback scene was for. And then after that, I felt like I just saw MILF everywhere.
Like the
I
term-
really
the word.
think like
My first gig that got offered to me. Do
And
you
your
remember?
comeback.
Do you remember Laura from as a MILF? Do you remember Laura from Naughty America?
Yeah.
She calls me one day. I'm working at Derek's. This is when it was starting to get hot. People were like, she should be shooting. Da, da, da. And Derek didn't like it at all. He didn't want me leaving the office. He was not happy about this.
he's like, I want the hot girl
And Laura's
sitting at
like,
the office.
Hey, Lisa, would you do a movie if we called you a MILF?
Okay.
And I said, I don't give a fuck what you call me. You call me a homeless person. You pay me my rate. And I had put a rate on that Derek said, no one's ever going to pay you this rate. And I'm like, well, everybody's talking about me coming back. Of course, I'm going to try and get this rate.
Yeah.
The first person I shot for was Suze because I wanted to have beautiful photos. We did some magazines. We did a scene or two for her site.
Suze Randall is for those of you who don't know,
Legendary.
legendary
Yeah, and
photographer.
she had shot my last thing. So that and then it just kind of spawned. And remember the show Desperate Housewives was very popular then.
Yes.
And the MILF scenes were so great back then. There was no weird shit. It was just the stay-at-home MILF hot at the
It was more like a hot wife. Yeah,
with,
yeah.
yes, with the pool guy. Boom, bada
Right.
bing. The mover. Boom,
I
bada
think-
bing.
I feel like you started it because I didn't.
According to the internet, the term MILF was invented from American Pie.
Yeah, I was going to
course,
say,
right?
but that was around
About-
the time when you
right.
came back in. The movie came back like,
1999.
what year did that movie come out?
1999.
What time did you?
2005.
Okay.
But
But
in
still-
as far as porn,
Yeah. I feel like you.
if you look up
really started
MILF
the
in the
craze.
dictionary of porn,
Yeah,
you're-
right?
I think
no
you started.
contest.
Right? Most
No
notable.
contest.
Google search most notable MILF.
most celebrated, most
like you walked so.
And then
So
Palin
Cherie
really
DeVille and
emphasized it as
Alex
well.
Fox- what?
Palin doing the whole,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
who's the-
when I, at a younger age. First, you came on my radar was from Palin. All my friends were
betcha.
like, we all had
So
it.
fun. It was so fun. It was
Yeah.
just silly.
Who's nailing Palin?
The first year that me and Aaron were dating on his birthday, I got him your fleshlight.
Because
Secret,
she asked out of all the fleshlight girls.
How did I never know this before?
Oh yeah, no, so
Yeah.
This
No,
is
no.
before Joanna even had her own. So she's like, out of all the fleshlight girls, like, who's your favorite? And I was like, Lisa Ann.
Yeah.
And
I
this
never
is
knew.
no joke.
Well, this was when I went to the ranch
And,
because to get molded for mine.
So
yeah.
she's like,
And
I want you to. She's like, I don't have a dick, so tell me if this is shit is as good as tell me about the hype. And I used it and I watched a scene of yours a while because I felt like that was appropriate.
Of course it is. That's how you do it.
I felt like we really had we had an intimate moment, me and your fleshlight. And then I called Joanna. I was like, this shit's really good.
There you go. Everyone
It's
buy
a
the
great
Lisa Ann
product.
fleshlight.
The texture of it with lube is amazing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
a
I
great
knew that
product.
Lisa
yeah.
was
So
flattered.
You were my first fleshlight.
Yeah.
So
experience,
flat.
yeah.
I'm sitting. Thank you. I'm
It
so
was-
flattered.
I
right
remember
now.
when I got invited to go to the ranch, to get molded for my fleshlight, and I knew that Aaron was a fan of yours. When I was in the office, and it was around Aaron's birthday, and when I was in the office, I was like, "Do you guys have a Lisa Ann fleshlight anywhere lying around?" And they're like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Could I have one to take home?"
Yeah. So
And I gave it to him for his birthday, the first year that we were dating. So it was like one of the first gifts I got for
I
his
went
birthday.
from
was a Lisa Ann fleshlight.
I went from being a fan to fucking your molded pussy to being your friend.
See how the world works.
Isn't
They
it
are.
crazy?
And we have such a great connection with each other. But that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate
look at
that.
Yeah.
Speaking
First
of,
gift, yeah.
of genitals,
Oh,
do,
Yeah, let's-
do we have,
we do have a dick.
to look at?
Yeah. So on my OnlyFans, I do dick ratings sometimes.
How much do you charge and how do you do them?
If you'd like to know, I charge $100 for them
By video or voice
by
note?
video.
Oh,
Voice note is
that's
different.
worth it.
Yeah, video.
Way worth it. Video,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Video.
He
it's-
watches that thing
it's
over and
$100.
over again.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
video. It's $100.
That's and they
a voice note. It's different. Then you have to tip.
Yeah.
at least $20 or something. But
Can I give you my 2 cents?
yeah.
This is where my age comes into play, everybody. Okay, this is a serious topic. I was raised different. Okay, guys were different. These motherfuckers that need me to tell them how that fucking thing looks, it makes me wonder, how insecure are you? And why do you not know it's great? And also,
She's already doing it, and there's no dick up. You're killing it.
I know. Yeah.
and then also, I've decided that I am going to give health lessons during mine. So I do mine by voice note for $50.
Okay.
Okay.
Go into my bedroom
No
closet.
video, just
no
voice.
video. That's
Okay.
going to be a whole nother ordeal. I have to have makeup on. I get them in
No,
between
I know.
whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
I call it my porn homework sometimes.
Yeah.
But I like it.
And
But
I
now
will give health tips on
Okay.
how their dick could be better if they lost some weight.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are overweight and it's cutting off circulation. And I ask them for updates. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to have to fucking do this, let me better you. Because
You check in with him twice a month, and you're like, "Yo, let's see the numbers."
Yeah, to hop on that scale and photograph it and send it to me by the DM. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So you do
let's
dick ratings on your OnlyFans. And
I do.
you have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, and I've
If you wanna
seen them
plug your
clamped for the
OnlyFans.
first time in my life. Have you ever seen that?
I've seen many.
I just saw my first one probably about 6 months ago. It was a new experience, which I was like, wow, I didn't know I could still have new experiences.
Well, we have
didn't know how to
Well,
rate
we
it.
have a very
well-
special dick for you today.
This was
A
one
very
that
special penis.
special. That's
We have a great.
special.
We have a really great one for you. I saved this one for you, Lisa. I saved this one for you.
Yo.
Can we zoom out a little bit? Where is he right now? Is he in his car?
Too much zoom. Too much
Is he
zoom.
in his car? Do you think he's at where?
You
is
know,
he?
where is he?
Yeah,
I
let's
guess
start
let's see.
there.
Where is he?
Looks like a couch.
Okay.
And this went straight to Twitter, eh?
He did. He posted this one on
bold
Twitter.
move. That is
yeah.
a
So
bold
this is
timeline.
like not only is this is an unsolicited dick pic. So
With a random user number. I will tell you this. Last year, a kid reached out for a cameo to tell me that he had met me at a signing like 10 years ago when he was a teenager, 18, planning on going to college. He's like, what should a guy do if he doesn't have a big dick? And I said, you should become a plastic surgeon so you still get to fuck hot girls. You're making a shit ton of money and you'll have no problem.
that's really
He
good.
became a plastic surgeon.
He became.
So, so
is this
maybe,
the plastic
maybe
surgeon?
this is the dick
no,
of the
he's in
plastic.
much better
No,
shape. Okay, first and foremost,
Let's make it bigger. Wait, can you?
You can't
download
make
the
it bigger.
picture?
That's the problem.
Can you
That's
can
the
you
problem.
even can we zoom in the? Can we I need
so
you
what
to
do you
just
do about
zoom
this on
in.
YouTube? You blur it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first
So
reactions,
first of all,
Lisa.
it does
First
look
reactions.
like Alf, right?
Oh, it does
show
look
up.
like Elf.
Yeah. Maybe
Yes.
yeah, it looks like
It does.
Elf.
I'll say
That-
this. If you live in a small house, you don't let your bushes get overgrown. You
Right.
want your trim down so your place looks bigger. So first step,
Well
manscape.
said. Well
Okay.
Where'd the
said.
penis go? Oh,
It's burned into my brain forever. It's okay.
Yeah,
And he has big balls. Where do you get big balls like that? Was it just small? What's is that a help?
it actually looked like there was another ball like kind of inside
me-
of his penis. Like there was like a little thing. Like it looked like something wanted to come out, but like I don't.
All
really
I
know.
can see is the onion tower at Benihana's, like the little hibachi. It's like stacked.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's what this dude's dick looks like
So
to
it
me.
sh-
Is like
you're saying
the
it should be lit on
smallest
fire?
hibachi onion tower ever, and I want to light it on fire.
You want to light it on fire. Oh
I
my God,
see the
that's very-
cone incense my grandfather used to burn.
cone incense.
They were cone. They were like this high. You'd burn them in the bathroom and it would just
You're
go
right.
out.
It's like a tiny, tiny little cone,
Like
and then
that.
it just slowly but surely is nothing. Yeah.
You know, I just also think because we have such interaction directly on Instagram, on OnlyFans.
Let's see. We now have a picture of Alf next to the Alf.
Well, no, it doesn't look like Alf. It looks like just Alf's nose.
Yeah, just Alf's nose.
Yeah,
Just
you're
a
right. Just
much
not Elf's.
smaller-
We don't want to degrade Elf's body like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, the guy has small fingers to pinch, but obviously
So
he's
maybe
not.
he can,
That's
like,
not
just-
going
Well,
inside a vagina.
Normally
no.
having
Like how? What do you do with that? Where do you put it?
away. Put
Yeah,
it away.
yeah.
Just put that dick away.
Yeah, you know what? Well said. You just use a strap on.
And as someone who has small fingers and small hands, haha, didn't. Usually that makes your dick look bigger.
Of course it does.
Somehow it did not work in this case. So,
It is a sad state of affairs. So I do, and I, you know, there's a lot of lonely people out there that don't know about manscaping, that don't know about. Oh, I critique their rooms. You get a picture,
Right,
and you're
yeah,
like,
no, we
that
have-
You
is
got it.
fucking
critiqued rooms.
disgusting. I would never fuck you.
I've seen some really, really bad. I mean, I've seen one. I feel like I don't
Listen,
know if
I have
said this.
some
I've
triggers. I have some scarring.
Yeah,
Well, then-
I've seen one in a bathroom where the toilet was not clean.
Oh,
The toilet
that's
was
well, we'll give this
fantastic.
guy
It was in the
1
bathroom.
point for just cropping out his probably disgusting room.
Yeah, we couldn't see anything.
so
I
at
think
least
it
we
was in
get
a
that.
car.
It looked like he was at an
It looked like
airport.
he was in a car. It looked like he was in an airport.
That's why I wanted to see you because of gray floors always gray.
And no one, he didn't even get in trouble for flashing because it's so small. They're like, we don't see anything. You can go. It's fine.
He's
We're not
in
going to
the-
give you a fine.
He's in like the American Airlines like captain's lounge
my
in like a
fave.
dark corner on the couch,
I
just
have to
taking
post
pictures
this
of
on
his
Twitter.
small penis.
He's like, oh, wait.
Wait, I
have
got to
to
set up a
post-
burner account. I'm gonna be Chris 4372721.
It wasn't even Chris. It's just a bunch of numbers. It was like, oh, and then he wrote DM question mark, please. DM question mark, please.
Oh my gosh!
but like you
yes.
could see like two little balls, like little pink.
Also,
Also those shorts.
how many times do you get ejaculation videos sent to you? I get those a lot.
I do cum shot ratings. It's called CEI.
It's interesting. I was thinking about building a comp of all of them and then sending them back to them in the DM so
Just
they
a
could watch
a
like a
montage.
5-minute fucking montage. How's this feel? Because this has been the last 6 years of my life.
Just, you know what? Maybe we need to up our game. Maybe,
And like have them send their cum
Maybe,
shot.
you
I know.
know-
Somebody did send me their cum shot the other day, and like he really wanted to make it clear, so he jizzed on this like paper bag, so I could like see.
I've
like,
seen guys jizzing in the
I
trash
could see
can.
the real.
If we get
I could see how much there
to-
was.
So much.
you know.
If we-
But to be fair, I really could see how much there was. You know.
what's a good number of subscribers that we need to get to, Brian, for the show?
For
For
A
what?
milestone.
it very much-
10,000.
five-
10,000.
10,000.
10,000 would
we
be a
get
great
to- if
milestone
we-
on YouTube. On YouTube.
If we get to 10,000 subscribers, we'll start rating cum shots.
Okay,
And I'll show up. You know what? I'll do appearance once a month and I'll help you with it if you
Lisa
get 10,000
Ann.
subscribers.
Lisa Ann is going to rate your jizz if we get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I'm also old school and a little, you know, I don't need a muscle bound guy, but I need somebody that takes care of their body. And I get a lot of dick. Send me a good dick pic. Like, why wouldn't you just take a dick pic from the internet and send it? I'd be so impressed.
like just someone
your
else's
dick, Johnny
nice
Sin's
dick,
dick.
yeah.
You know, somebody's dick. If there's tattoos, just take them out.
Fair.
Release my dick. I'd be like, fucking good for you. I'd probably chat
if
with
they
that
sent
person
you
a lot.
somebody else's dick,
Well,
I mean, it would be pretty
it would make
funny
me
if I'm doing-
happier than on a Saturday afternoon at 3. I see one
Yeah.
come in, I look at it, I'm like, oh my
would
god,
be pretty
bums me
hilarious.
out.
It's like when you're a therapist and you spend all day listening to people's problems.
Yeah.
It's like you want to come
You
home.
just
and-
spend all day spending it with people's sad dicks.
But I've been,
And that
surrounded
can be
by a lot of good
traumatizing.
dick in my life. So I'm probably a little bit
Have you been
bougie in the
blessed
dick
with
department.
With good dick
That's
in your
okay.
personal life?
Oh, yes.
I feel like you have, right?
Of
Yeah, I've heard a lot
course.
of your personal stories that you
Yeah.
tell me, and you always seem to be very blessed. You know?
Well, I'm a good scout.
yeah.
Good talent scout.
Are
for,
you?
Yeah.
How can you tell if a guy has a big dick? It's
a
a
bit
big
of-
dick
it's-
energy.
Well,
a bit
right?
of
is it big,
swagger.
good? Is it both?
It's both. It's connection, how the person moves,
The
you know,
energy.
the energy, the vibe. It's such a vibe thing with me too. But yeah,
But you know.
I know. I mean, I've had one or two mishaps where I've been like, oh, this poor kid, he was not gifted down there. We're
Right.
never
Yeah.
going to see each other again. But we'll text.
I know.
She,
I've had
she
that,
almost did that with me on our
Well,
first
I remember,
date.
and it's actually, it comes from a sweet place because I remember on our first date, and we were talking for a really long time, and we got along really well, and I thought he was really handsome, and of course, I was like, he is too good to be true. So in the middle of this date where everything's going really well, I started to get angry because I was like, he probably has a small dick. Like I was already mad at him for having a small dick.
Why are you looking at me
before
mad?
Right there.
anything
Such a
happened.
George thing.
I was like, you're
guilting herself already, and this is too good to be true. I don't deserve
exactly.
this.
I'm like, there's no way he's nice and handsome and has a big dick. Like, there's just no way. Nobody has those three things. And then, so we were on a date, you know, we got like lunch, and the lunch turned into like a 4-hour, you know, thing. And then we went back to my apartment, and I just like pulled his, you know, and he was like, whoa, like he was trying to be
we
all
were
gentleman.
watching the
like-
HBO show Girls, I believe.
Yeah.
And very quickly into the show, she just starts.
And you were just like
sucking my
making
dick.
out with me. And
Yeah,
like,
and I was totally like trying to be a gentleman. It's our first date.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I'm making out with Joanna Angel. That, and I was already like, okay, this is even more than I ever thought. And then she started blowing me, and I was like, oh my God, like
This is happening.
this is happening.
And for Joanna, I
And
could say
she's just doing
curios-
research.
Yeah,
She's just
curiosity
doing
killed the
research.
it's like
cat.
I could have just like after I
Curiosity
saw
killed the cat.
Yeah.
That's what happened right here. You
Yeah.
had to know. Otherwise,
had to
you would
know.
have been spiraling for the next 24 hours, visualizing it looked like
Yes.
fucking that guy's
and I
penis.
yes, and I would have been like, it's
Never
not
talk
going
to
to
him
work.
again.
I can't
and
talk to you anymore.
I thought, you know, arrogantly that like, oh, I must have like, wow, she must like me that much. And then later, you know, like as we were, you know, down a couple years into dating, she's like, dude, that day I literally just needed to check and see. She's like, well, you know, good job. You got a blowjob out of it. But she's like, it was just me looking to see how
Yep,
big your
checking
dick
out the
was.
merchandise.
I had to
you
check
know what
it
I
out.
mean?
It isn't, you know, it is tough though, because like you don't know until you're down there, you know.
Well,
Anyway.
and it's a dick isn't like boobs, you know.
Yeah, if you're into big boobs, you know.
My flaccid dick is small.
Of course, not that small ever.
Not that small, but you know, it's nothing to be excited about. But you know what? You don't fuck with a flaccid
It is a
dick.
grower. It grows like
you fuck with a hard dick. So the only
Yeah.
number that should matter in theory is
it's
how
the-
big
it's
it
the
is
hard
when
dick.
it's hard.
But yeah, so what are we going to give this little?
Oh yeah, so numbers. So I give that dick a 2 because the hibachi thing made me laugh. It's like,
A 2? I don't
yeah,
know.
like 2 inches at best.
I like how he put his finger next to it.
I'd like to start a charity for this. There has to be a group of sad people out there. What do they do with their free time? I'm so heartbroken. Now I know why there's so many TV shows and things for people to do. I'm busy fucking when I'm not working, okay? I would have as much sex as I can in my free time.
Fair.
this poor
Safe
guy.
to say this
My
guy's
patio.
not-
Do you know
he
how
has,
great
like-
it is to have sex out on my patio?
Oh, wow. You've had sex on your patio?
Of course. Why wouldn't
You
I?
have a beautiful patio.
Right. It's got a great view. It's up high. I mean,
That's so awesome.
yeah, why wouldn't you not? You know what I was thinking the other night? It was the perfect, like, humid and breeze. And every night before I go to bed, I sit out there with no phones for at least half an hour, have a glass of wine, just like listen to the city. And
You
I
have a
was,
beautiful
and I was like, you know what? I should one night just bring blankets out here with a bunch of pillows and sleep out here. Would I get bit by a bunch of mosquitoes? Like, I don't know, but I have to do it one night.
I'll do it with you.
Will you? It was
Oh, you
so
guys should have
fun.
like a summer
Yeah,
end
we
of
could
summer
take the
sleepover.
cussions from the chairs that I have and put them down on the ground.
Yeah.
I just think it would be
Maybe we
really
could
great to wake
somehow
up and
put
feel
a
the
movie
sunrise.
on- I don't know.
I do have power out there, and I've already before rolled my office TV because I have it on wheels. I've rolled it out there, and I have wireless.
We're gonna
cable
watch
off,
a
so
movie.
I've done this before.
We're gonna have a movie night. before
Movie
the
night
summer's
at
over.
Lisa Ann's patio. That sounds glorious.
Should we see what a friend of both of ours, Stephen Glickman,
Glickman.
fellow comedian friend of ours. He was on most people know him from the show Big Time Rush, a children's Nickelodeon show. which I probably
Wasn't he on
shouldn't mention here.
Workaholics?
And he was on an episode.
That's how I know
think it was
him.
just one episode of Workaholics.
I
remember
loved that show.
Yeah,
Loved.
Well, let's see what Mr. Glick has
Let's
to
see what
say
Stephen
about
Glickman
a
has to say.
dick.
Thank you for.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Stephen Glickman. So today I'm gonna do this review for Joanna because she was busy. She asked me to take a look. So, all right, let's take a look at it. Holy Jesus! That guy, somebody cut that guy's dick off? There's nothing there.
Bless his
Just a hole in
heart.
his body.
Bless.
Joanna, what the fuck is this? Is this like a new thing you're doing? You just
No,
show
it's-
guys that don't even have a dick, they just took the dick off?
Took their dick
This
off.
dude ain't got no balls.
He had some balls.
He got no dick, no balls. This is like the hole in the ozone layer. But if it was a dick. I
He looks traumatized.
feel like if I stare into it for too long, I'm gonna go blind.
No, he's definitely traumatized.
Yeah, this gets a big old 0 from
Yeah.
me, bro.
I agree.
Hard pass.
Hard
Yeah.
pass. Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
Not even hard. There's nothing there.
A soft pass. Thank you, Stephen.
There's nothing there.
A soft pass from Stephen Glickman. Well, if you're listening and you want your pathetic or mediocre or dick rated,
Join my OnlyFans.
join Joanna's
Join
OnlyFans.
my OnlyFans.
Or you could boldly,
email us.
unsolicitedly throw it up on Twitter, like
Right.
that person.
If you join my
did.
OnlyFans, then you get a special video from me as well, and you get other things.
And also,
whatever.
being healthy is so important. And I hope some of the guys that I've given advice to know that they'll have better circulation down there.
You're
And
right.
a better
Lisa gives real advice.
I go on like this 3-minute rant about blood pressure.
So wait, what advice would you give someone, like health advice?
I would tell them to really try to lose some weight and
Lose
get
some
in
weight.
shape because the circulation is so important.
key.
You're right.
And
it is,
and
it is a
that's what's
muscle,
hurting them. Also,
after
it's
all.
not hot. You want a dick on a stick, right? It makes the dick look smaller
Right.
too. I'm like, when your gut's that big, you don't see the dick look smaller. I bet you, if you were lean, that thing would
It
look
would
nice.
stick out. Yeah,
Yes.
you'd get an extra inch or two.
Yeah.
So I'm
right?
sensing like there's two ways you can go out there, listeners. If you want degradation and just verbal abuse, go on Joanna's OnlyFans and send your pathetic dick. But if you want to,
Health
if
tips.
you want to better yourself
Yeah.
and be better at life,
Go to Lisa's
go to Lisa
OnlyFans.
Ann's, and she will change your life in a positive way. Don't send them to me because I guess you could. No one's ever. You know what? I'm a little offended. I want someone to.
I can easily forward you some
Yeah.
select.
You know what,
fews.
Lisa? While I thank you
Send
for that,
Aaron your dick.
You're a good
everyone.
You're a good friend, but I want my own dick sent to me. I want someone to
You want
send me a
someone-
dick. Someone out there, one of my fans.
You want your
I
own
know I
dicks.
have fans who have dicks. Send me your dick,
Yeah.
please.
Send your dick.
When this thing first started, we would get dick pics. I found it to be humorous to save them to my phone and send them to all my friends when they were at work. And then that got old, but at first it was funny. You know, then
everyone's all-
they wanted to not
then
answer
there
my
were
texts
just
anymore.
then there were too many dick pics.
Yeah.
So you'd have to
Lost its luster.
cancel all your other plans just to
Yeah.
forward all the dicks. But it is actually really great that now we can monetize dick pics. And because people used to just send them, willy nilly, and now
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
can actually
We've come a long way.
come a long
baby.
way.
Yeah.
So
Do we have any news, Brian? Speaking of not.
or a
dicks.
question? Should
Or
we
a
answer
question?
a question?
No news, but we do have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
And so this question's from Astro Black. He says, love you guys so much. Can you describe the average day for a porn star on a filming day as an actor and a director?
That's like 17 different answers, depending on.
Yeah.
Let's just go around and maybe give him one answer to that. An average day on set, because that's going to be different for you, Lisa.
Well, you're organizing as a talent and a director, which you do the same. You're organizing the crew. You're making sure everything's okay at location. You're
Lisa
probably
was also a director.
Yeah, you're probably organizing food. So you're handling the business aspect of it as well as trying to be still in the makeup chair, getting your makeup done as talent. It's a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very long
You have to
day.
wear many different hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get home, you have to manage the content. Like you're
Yeah.
uploading content to an editor, like you're still at it. You're doing the laundry from all the fuck towels, you know. That was always my favorite. I'm like, I paid these people to have sex with me, and I did their dirty fucking laundry.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a director anymore, but yes, I did direct for a very long time, and I mean, the day starts very early. The day would usually start in the morning, where you get a text message from someone who says, I can't make it today. And then you have to spend the first 3 hours of your day figuring out how
So-and-so's test didn't come through yet.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to spend the first few hours of the day handling some kind of mishap. And then you're playing like Tetris, like, okay, well, maybe I'll move this over here and maybe I'll move this over here. Or you're going to get a call from the location that's like, oh, we don't have power or something. There's too many variables for everything to go right, especially the bigger the project is. There's just more and more things that have to be perfect. So I'm going to say more times than not, the first like 2 hours of your day are dedicated to handling,
putting out fires
and rescheduling and rearranging and whatever. And then, I mean, I guess it depends on how much help you have. Like I always I'd go to the grocery store to get like snacks for set and stuff like that. I'd look through what we call the fuck bucket. Remember we used to always have it. And it was just like
baby wipes,
lube, enema. Yeah, and depending on what girl was on set, I know certain girls would want certain things. Oh, that so and so is coming to set.
Gummy
make
bears.
sure you have gummy bears. Make sure you have this. Go over like whatever wardrobe has to be brought. Make sure run last minute errands of what we might need that isn't there, because there's always something last minute. And a lot of times as a director, I'd have a last minute idea. I'd be like, oh, you know what? Today I changed my mind. Let's do this. And I would go out and get whatever this.
And it could also just take an hour to go through the girl's suitcase that you hired, because half of her clothes are dirty and half are clean, and she has like one
Sometimes they don't
shoe
match,
that doesn't match the
Or to
other
be
shoe.
fair-
They just keep the bag in their trunk and never wash anything, and it's ratchet.
This is good,
I got to the point where no one was allowed to bring wardrobe to my sets. I bought everything they were wearing.
I mean, that's awesome that you're
It was just so much easier. I was like, the shoes are going to be clean, everything's going to be set, and we don't have to try on a bunch of things. We could tie in outfits together.
Brazzers does that mostly now.
It's smart.
Like the last few times I've been on set for them, they've provided everything. Yeah.
But sometimes I'd use the girls' clothes. Sometimes whatever. Then you get to
But it consumes time.
Is it safe to say to the guy who asked the question, a day on set, typically the sex is like the smallest amount of time.
Easiest thing to do.
Once the sex comes, it's like,
the thing that takes up the least amount of your day
and energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really a lot of managing, being a production manager, being a casting director, being a PA for yourself sometimes.
You know what it's like? Because I've now been around this a bunch of times. When I've been around girls and it's the day of their wedding, that is what being a director every day on set, and they're always so stressed out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got a whole bunch of things you got to manage. There's makeup, there's guys, there's girls, there's penises and vaginas. There's different personalities.
There's people you don't want inside.
There's different personalities, and you're not sure how they're going to connect. You know what I mean? There's always a disaster at the last minute. Like literally, it's actually very similar to planning a wedding. So I remember when I was at, my sister's wedding and she was so stressed and everything was going wrong. I knew how to handle and fix everything very easily,
That's
and that's why, not like there was much planning that went into our wedding, but I felt like it was like such a walk in the park, because I was like, oh, well, this is fun, I'm like, the worst thing that happens if something goes wrong, it's like a party for me. I don't know.
Yeah, our wedding was no stress. It was
and I wanted a not a stressful wedding at all, because I'm like, the last thing I want is excessive planning, because my whole life is excessive.
Exactly.
I'm like,
exactly.
I want to
Especially using that as the example. It's like, why do I want to do that another day?
Exactly.
I want to have a good time.
Yeah, and even just with getting makeup done and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't want to like.
It's a lot more work than people think.
Yeah,
it's a lot more work putting together a production.
Right. But now with
long day.
OnlyFans, it's way different. A lot of times I just kind of get together with someone and we have sex for a half hour and that's it.
Yeah, so your day can take all day, or your day can take an hour, depending on
it really
what
depends on what
the
kind of
context
Or
mood
of
you
the
can
situation.
just send pictures to be paid to be open of your feet.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
porn is
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Huge market for that.
Huge. You know what my one girlfriend does that's in the sports business because so many guys creep out over her feet? Every photo she posts where she's wearing open-toed shoes, she takes the Sharpie on the photo and scribbles these big things so just you can't see her
Can't
feet
see
at
'em.
all.
Gotta pay for it.
She's,
Gotta pay for that shit.
she's like, the smart people know broke money don't make money, okay?
Yo, and the feet people spend.
Oh, yeah.
The feet people
yeah.
spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody out there, if you don't do porn, don't post a picture of your feet
For free.
I mean, you know, you're taking away money from us because they're like, well, I'll just go on Instagram and this girl who just happened to be trying on shoes, I could jerk off to that.
Yeah, I
You
guess
could be charging
you
for
could
that.
When I
do
take a bikini pic at the pool, all of my friends will write, and then you're giving that away for free.
Well, a
You're
bikini
showing your
pic
feet
is different. It's
but
so funny.
You're, naked,
Yeah.
you're barefoot, you know. But they're like, you should give that away for free.
It'll be a bikini pic and they'll just like enlarge the foot.
You're like blurring out just the bottom.
just the feet. Anyway. Well, Lisa,
Yes, we love you, Lisa.
love you.
And I think you two should have like a cute girls' night on your beautiful
sleepover
balcony.
party.
Yeah, watch movies and
And my schedule is so much more routine now with football season. So till February, I'm really here. I don't travel as much. I'll take 1 or 2 trips. I'll do
Okay.
Exotica.
well, either way, we gotta hang out in the
We gotta hang.
Yeah.
We gotta hang.
yeah, both me and Lisa, I believe, will be at Exotica, New Jersey.
Yes, ma'am.
Which I know is coming. God, where'd the year go? Stop it.
It's flying by.
It's flying by.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. Lisa, it's been so amazing to be in your life for a very long time. And it's so cool to be living in New York with you. Not like we live together. You know what I mean? It's cool that we are in this
World
kind of
together. Yeah.
chapter of our lives together.
I agree. And you've met some of my people, like my friend Justin, the fireman at Firehouse right by you. Like it's a small, big city,
Yeah.
and people know people. But you've been such a big part of my life. People should know that in 2017, it was you that made me open my eyes to think that I could get back in the business, and that it was a very emotional time in my life.
You're
And
going through a rough time.
yeah, I was, but you just simplified it. You're like, well, that's stupid. You're fucking Lisa Ann.
Yeah, that's what I
That's exactly what she said. And I was like, I had been just spilling my guts. This is why this. It was just so matter of fact. Like, you're fucking
you had
Lisa Ann.
taken another like little break. Yeah, you had some drama
Yep,
with people,
yep,
and
yep.
I remember you were talking to me about it. I was like, "You're fucking Lisa Ann."
and it was.
shouldn't- That's all I had to say.
sometimes that's all it is.
It was the very first event I had done in over 2 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I went through a year where I was a complete shut-in. Only left to go to the gym and cryo. Then was home. Never went anywhere.
Fair.
But everyone needs to have a year like that.
Yeah, now we are
Right?
here. We're in the city. We're thriving.
You know?
Well, it's
I love you both.
an
Yeah.
honor to call you friend and be hanging out here in the city with you. And I think we have a lot more exciting adventures. To come.
yeah. And everybody check out Lisa's podcast.
Yes.
The Lisa Ann Experience.
The Lisa Ann Experience. And yeah, where
else
can
can
everybody
everybody
find you?
At The Real Lisa Ann. Everything is the same. Every platform. It keeps it easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Keep it easy.
Well, you can find me onlyfans.com/smallhands on Instagram and Twitter at the smallhands_. You could maybe find me at Sapphire soon, watching the game with Lisa.
And send Aaron your dick.
Send me your dick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have to do a haiku.
We do. So
Fuck.
at the end of every show, we end it on a
How could we
haiku,
forget this?
loosely based on whatever
We
the
never
fuck we
even said
talked
what
about.
episode number this was.
This is going to be tentatively 16.
What is a haiku?
So a haiku is a
poem.
poem. It's 3 lines. First line is 5 syllables. Second line is 7 syllables. Third line is 5 syllables. Doesn't have to rhyme. No other rules have to be followed.
Ever heard of haiku?
It's like a Japanese poem loosely.
Clearly, I have not. I haven't touched-
So,
What's like a famous haiku?
Brian, can you
if you
maybe
saw one, you'd know. Yeah.
do you have these? Like, can you read one of our past haikus?
You're gonna spit this
I
off
would
the
need
top
a
of your
second
head
to
like
go
a
find
rapper?
Never. Yeah. No.
I mean,
yes.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
freestyling this. We
We're
do it at the end of
freestyling
every
this.
episode.
Can I follow your lead?
Yes,
I don't know if I
yes,
can
yes.
do it.
So
Yeah,
you'll do the last one.
Okay.
5
Do the last
syllables.
one. Okay.
You want to start?
I'll start. It's okay. So 5 syllables. Okay. Anal on islands. Anal on islands.
Okay.
Anal on
First
islands.
line. Anal on islands. Okay.
Should we give Lisa the last line?
Yeah, we'll give her the last
Okay.
one. That's fine. I'll take the
Anal
7.
on islands.
Anal on islands. Hibachi shrimp dick.
It's 7.
on fire. Yeah. Fucking off the
Why
top of
are
my
you
head.
7 and why are you 5?
It's 5, 7, 5.
That's the structure of the
That's
poem.
the
I'm
structure.
5?
So you're 5. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let's
So,
repeat.
so wait,
So
say it again. So
yours was
anal on islands.
Mine is hibachi shrimp dick on fire.
You fucked my fleshlight.
Oh, yay!
Yes.
Woo!
So,
I love
so
it.
our haiku to send everybody out. Have a great day, night, whatever the fuck it is. Anal on islands, hibachi shrimp dick on fire. You fucked my fleshlight.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
That's
We'll
really-
see you all
it's
in the
really
next
good.
one.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.